Hi everybody, welcome to this Expert Division qualifying round free video guide for the North 9-hole cup here on the channel. Please hit the thumbs up if you don't mind and make sure you are a subscriber. If you're not subscribed already, please become a subscriber. It is totally free to do so. Plenty drops here, tweak as you go along if needed and adapt according to your play style, clubs and balls available. Remember, some of these pin locations are a bit trickier than usual. Some of them may be slightly easier, so make sure you take a token and practice if need be. Here we go with hole number 1. We are going to lay up a little bit shorter than usual and play a thorn shot instead, because there's a little bit of crosswind and a headwind to deal with as well. We're going red ring touching the rough on the right with the quarterback at the top of plus 10. Then we switch to APOC and thorn bag. Once we've done the bag switch, it's time to add spin. 5 top spin, 3 bars right spin. And then we adjust very carefully as we pull down the slope here. Max plus 10, power 3 settings. And the reason I'm not going with any more top spin here or blasting it any further is I want to be in thorn range rather than wedge. Doing our adjustment, no push-up needed, but we're going with 2 1/4 ball curl to the right, full overpower, and you will have a nice slow needle, so it's easy to hit perfect. Bouncing in the middle of the fairway and rolling down here, not going too far, but we're in the region of 350 yards. Second shot, find the minimum distance line with the thorn, and then I'm adding 1 bar of backspin. And then I'm going to move up approximately 5 rings up from min and look at this huge funnel here. I'm moving left and right and the ball guide is still going through the hole. Be in the middle of that one, so try and replicate the position shown there. Your number of rings from min may vary depending on your drive distance, but 5 has been working nicely for me with that consistent drive distance. As we pushed up 5 rings from min, it's 1% slider per ring, so I'm playing this one 5% slider, 0 elevation, pull over the bullseye on this one. Like I said, nice generous funnel to play into, so this should be a nice straightforward drop for you all. Going past the pin, taking the slope and rolling back in for your eagle. Now this pin location is playing quite tough, especially for the sniper bounce down, so I'm actually trying something with the rocket here. I'm going with 7.8 backspin, you'll see it just increases there, and 2 bars of left spin. Red ring touching the beginning of the fringe, and look at the ball guide. There's a kind of mini funnel there, small sticky spot, but not much of one. Try and be in the middle of it. Tip of the ball guide will be touching the left-hand edge of that dark green square column. Pause the video, take a screenshot if you can. We're going min plus 30, power 3 settings. You need to push your rings as I'm doing here, otherwise there's not really a clear view of what you're adjusting. So push your rings. Nice if you can keep the wind below 8 miles per hour, but it is not a necessity. This one will need some wind angle tweaks. It is a difficult par 3 now with this new location. The old hole location was very straightforward indeed, but much less so here. Taking the slope, and we're just sneaking this one in for a hole in one. Very tough shot to drop. Here we are going to play with APOC and sniper. You don't need to use a precision ball. I'm just using it because it made the dialing in process a little bit easier. Going here with 5.8 top spin, 3 bars right spin. And here is your landing position references. Blue ring touching the rough on the right, top of plus 2 with APOC 5 and 6. APOC 4, 30% of the blue ring overlapping the rough at the top of plus 8. Just as accurately as you can here, because the rocks will be in the way, so try and get a good zoom in position with a clear reference of where you're adjusting to. Then we're going with 2 ball curl to the right, and we are going with circle drop over power. So just where that circle drops is your reference there. Perfect ball away, bouncing on the fairway very nicely, and then we're getting that nice roll along the fairway. You want to be in the region here of 345 yards and upwards. Second shot, just need to tweak the aim. I had a very unfortunate lip out here, so we're going with 3 backspin and 2 bars side spin to the right. Then we're going to set up here, look at my ball guide reference so you know what to tweak. You can see my reference here is having the tip of the ball guide deliberately to the right of the pin, and here it is touching the division between the light and the dark green square column. So that was my reference here. You might need to just shift one way or the other based on the miss in the video. We're going to adjust landing position plus yards, 20% elevation. So +8 with sniper 10 would be +10 with sniper level 9. And this one I played 90% slider, 20% elevation, using sniper 10 numbers regardless of your club level. Perfect ball away here. This does have a very good chance with a very small tweak. As you can see here, we're just going to take a bit of a 180 and out on the left hand side. So tweak your aim slightly to the right. For those of you who play Tour Play, I'm sure you'll be interested to find out there is a tour rotation coming for season 62. I will be the first one to bring you all of the news of what is in and what is out. Be sure to head over to the channel. The video is scheduled already. Set your reminders there. It is coming on Friday, so be ready for that. Got a hole-in-one reference for you here. We're going to play with the sniper and a kingmaker. Adding spin first, and I'm going with 3 bars of backspin. And it's difficult to find a ring reference here, so we're looking at the tip of the ball guide as well as the rings. And you can see there half of the white ring inside the rough on the right. There's the tip of the ball guide touching the dark green square column. Second bounce just on the green. You can also look at the snow patch in relation to the white ring as well. So take a token or two if you can, get used to the setup. Then we adjust mid +25, power 3 settings. I wouldn't worry about a wind 4 ball here. As you can see, got 8.4 miles per hour wind. It's not going to ruin your chances if you have a high wind. Make sure you use sniper 10 numbers though. Centre the ball, hit perfect. Might need a wind angle tweak or two of course, but we're bouncing comfortably on the fairway, over the water, onto the green, and then we get a nice roll in for the hole-in-one. Actually a decent chance for the albatross here, even though the pin is tucked away on the right hand side. Top of +10 with APOC 5 and above. APOC 5 and 6 will have the red ring touching the rough on the left. Then we are adding spin. It's going to be a heavy 1.5 top spin and 3 bars left spin. So if you're struggling to find 1.5 and you think you've either got 1.4 or 1.6, err on the side of 1.6 rather than less. Like I said, APOC 4, P3 max rest, 20% of the red ring inside the rough on the left, and then we adjust max +10. You can see I'm actually pulling to the outer side of the blue ring, otherwise it's difficult to see the rings you're adjusting with the rocks and the snow in the way. So I would encourage you to do the same, work out your adjustment there over the bullseye. 3/4 ball curl to the left, and just before the circle drops as our overpower reference. Bouncing cleanly over the bunker, and we're going to roll up towards the end rough but not threatening it. You want to be around 340 to 345. Now if you've got a sniper 9 here, you may need to use a bit more top spin if you are at max distance of club, but with sniper 10 I would suggest 2.2 top spin, and you could see there using all of our right spin. You want to have the tip of the ball guide on the kind of left edge of the cup, just inside the edge of the cup there, deliberately offsetting it to the left because the wind will push us slightly in from left to right. We are going landing position plus yards, 10% elevation. Use sniper 10 numbers here. +11, I'm playing this 97% slider, and it does have a decent chance. It's a little bit inconsistent, this green, with the speed, but it does, like I say, give you a decent chance nonetheless. And we've got a reference drop here, the offset working very nicely. I'm choosing to show you a luminary shot here because the free-to-play Kingmaker bouncing over on the left-hand side, it is fine, but most of the time you're going to end up with a birdie because the Grizzly from distance is extremely inconsistent. So I'm going with the inner yellow or green ring touching the rough at the top of +6 yards with APOC 5 and above. 5.8 top spin and 2 right spin. Adjust max +10 but power 3 numbers. Full overpower, 2.25 ball curl to the right. It is going to be a shaky needle. If you've got the precision luminary like I have here, it will help you. Try and hit perfect. APOC 4, you will be at the top of +12 yards, and in high wind you may be adjusting into OP, so you might not make it over. Try a token or two, please. 360 yards or thereabouts. A Berserker is not recommended because of the high wind. You may not make it over, so I would really only go with a luminary. We're going to make a back fringe check here in line with the pin, bullseye over the fringe where it meets the fairway. You can see I've got +4 there, and we're going to use that to get our slider. First though, we find our position and add spin. It's going to be around 3 backspin. You can see I'm lining up there before spin, ball guide through the hole. Then I'm adding the backspin. It might vary depending on your drive distance, but use 3 backspin as your start point, and then you want almost the red ring touching the rough. There is a small gap here, but more importance here is looking at the ball guide. You could see I got that third bounce and the end of the ball guide kind of in and through the hole. So make sure you reference that as well, because there is some headwind to compensate for. +4 going 62% slider, 20% elevation, power 3 numbers once again, so no need to reprogram your wind apps. Pull over the bullseye, it's 2% per yard, so +5 I will play 64, but I do believe this gives you the best chance at the eagle. For plenty of early access content, including academy tutorials and the latest episode of my Club Guides series, join us on patreon.com/BK Golf Clash. Loads of elevation charts as well, and win charts for all the tournaments. Great way to support the free content here on the channel. Plenty for you over there, so please join us on patreon.com. This is another nasty one, to be honest. I didn't find much consistency going with the bounce over with our long iron, so I'm trying a very cheap shot with a navigator. I'm having the blue ring touching the snow and the red ring touching the rough, and then I'm going with a 5.3 backspin and 1 bar left spin. We've got to use a navigator, otherwise with a power 3 ball or a power 2 ball you will pull into the minimum distance line, unfortunately. There is an option with a rough bump. I had a couple of goes at it, but in the time available, didn't really get anything consistent to show you, so I was just then resorting to a navigator. Does have a decent chance for a hole in one though, with a tweak or two. 1-to-1 adjust, so 9.8 wind. I'm going with 9.8 rings. Unfortunately though, we need to use some curl, so I'm going with outer wall curl left plus a couple of clicks, but it does need a little bit of a tweak here. But again, it's only a navigator, and it's sometimes nice to drop down from a kingmaker if you can. And here we're going to go with a katana as well, just to save on a kingmaker. 5.8 topspin, 3 left spin, and with APOC 5 and 6, red ring touching the rough at the top of +5. APOC 4, P2 max rest, 20% of the red ring overlapping the rough. APOC 7, you will have 20% of the blue ring on the fairway because your rings are smaller. Max +0, power 2 settings. Be careful of your pull angle here, because if you've got a dodgy pull angle, you might pull yourself further away from the tee and end up going into the bunker. So try this one with a token. We are going with outer wall curl to the left and circle drop over power. So what I do is I apply the circle drop over power first and then drag the ball to the left. So try and be as accurate as you can. That will leave you a very easy wedge. Here I'm also going to go with a katana because I want the wind push. You could play with a Titan, but then you lose the right spin on the second shot. So I'm going with 5.8 top spin only. Red ring touching the rough on the right at P2 max rest with APOC 5 and above. Ring references will vary with APOC 7 and 8. Adjust max +10, power 2. If you've got APOC 4, you will have 20% of the red ring overlapping the rough on the right, but you will need to stretch out 1.7 rings into overpower. Once you've adjusted, you would then, with APOC 4 only, have to push up 1.7 rings. Full overpower, slow needle, with outer wall curl to the right to counter the wind push, and we're finding the middle of the fairway, and you want to be in excess of 402 yards here. Second shot, we are in range even with a power 2 ball. This is predominantly a safe eagle play, but you might get lucky and drop the albatross. 3.2 top spin, although I could have gone with a clip more here, and 3 right spin. Blue ring touching the rough at max rest with the sniper. Sniper 9, you're going to have a couple of yards less distance, so you might need a bit more top spin. But there is your setup here. max -5, power 2 settings, so maximum distance -5. For me that was 9.3 rings using Sniper 10 numbers, and I'm going with just under a ball and a half of curl to the left. You'll see the ball will overlap the triangle, the ball trail will touch the top tip of the triangle, and I'm going with just before the circle drops as our overpower reference. Going to be safely on the fairway here, topspin taking us onto the green. If you have a bit more topspin on, you may get lucky for an albatross with only a katana. Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots. Free guides are posted, as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.